Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. This is the pre-show mantra. The show will start momentarily. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be rich. I deserve to be wealthy. I deserve to be free. The more you learn, the more you earn. The stock market is a machine, and I am more than capable of operating this machine. Let's get into it, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are tuning in from around the globe, I'm your host, Matt Riches. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast, and welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers family. This is a live market breakdown covering the $1 trillion stocks, SPX, the NASDAQ 100, SPY, and QQQ. We cover pre-market levels, opening bell moves, headlines that move the market, or are associated with our $1 trillion stocks. We'll be looking at charts, checking on Bitcoin and Ethereum levels, sector prices, and some motivation along the way. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for education and entertainment only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. All right, so today we had the market gap up crazy, y'all. We had the market gap down crazy over this 3-day weekend, y'all. Man, so we're gonna check out what happened. Let me just get everything situated here. Okay. First thing we like to do when the show first starts is check out our market caps of our $1 trillion tickers. First one we have is, give me 1 second, y'all. Gotta take that down. There we go. All right. First one we have is NVIDIA, the most valuable company in the world, is at 4.5 trillion, followed by Google, 3.9 trillion, Apple, 3.7 trillion, Microsoft, 3.4 trillion, Amazon, 2.5 trillion, TSM, 1.77 trillion, AVGO, 1.66 trillion, Meta, 1.56 trillion, Tesla, 1.45 trillion, and Berkshire.B, 1.06 trillion, y'all. So those numbers are going to be a lot lower once the market opens, because the market did gap down a lot over this holiday weekend. So let's get into these pre-market levels. All right, let's see what we got here. NVIDIA, pre-market low, 180, pre-market high, 183.72. Google, pre-market low, 316.58, pre-market high, 322.37. So if you're not familiar with this chart layout, this is the pre-market, this brown background. This is the aftermarket from Friday, and this is Friday during the market open, this dark blue area here. So Google, pre-market low, 316.58, pre-market high, 322.29. Apple, pre-market low, 251.04, pre-market high, 253.81. Microsoft pre-market low 450.54, pre-market high 456.72. Amazon pre-market low 231.14, pre-market high 235.36. TSM pre-market low 330, pre-market high 341.78. That was a major bounce. If you see this first candle when the pre-market opened, it came all the way down here to 330, and then it bounced, and now it's sitting at 339. But this was a major drop in the pre-market for TSM. Okay, AVGO pre-market low 339.25, pre-market high 345.03. Meta pre-market low 601 even, pre-market high 610.65. Tesla pre-market low 421.80, pre-market high 428.96. Berkshire.B, it's still in our consolidation area. Pre-market low 488.88, pre-market high 493.42. The VIX has gapped up dramatically. The VIX on Friday was under 16, and now it's over 20. So that is a lot of volatility spike. Okay, SPY pre-market low 679.05, pre-market high 685.86. QQQ pre-market low 607.05, pre-market high 614.30. SPX pre-market low 6,811, pre-market high 6,851. The NASDAQ 100 pre-market low 24,932, pre-market high 25,122. All right, let's check out some news. I didn't finish all the news yesterday. Let's see who has earnings this week. Today, pre-market, we have Interactive Brokers. We have KeyBank, we have US Bank Corp, we have PayPal, we have Chubb, we have Robinhood, we have S&P Global, and Prudential. I believe I should have an update on that. Let's see what we got. Okay, let's see. No, the update is not ready. I should have got an update, but I did not get it. So we will go on to the next piece of news. Richest athletes in the world. Number one, Michael Jordan at $3.6 billion. I'm not really sure why they call this person a athlete. Vince McMahon at $3.2 billion. This is from the Daily Loud on Twitter, so I don't know why they call it. Anyway, I haven't heard of this other guy, Ion Triac, $2.4 billion. Number 4, Junior Bridgman, $1.5 billion. Cristiano Ronaldo, $1.2 billion. I'm not gonna read the rest of them. I thought this was kind of funny. This was RFK Jr. talking about Trump. Check it out.
Who has the most unhinged eating habits? The president.
The interesting thing about the president is that he eats really bad food, which is McDonald's, and then, candy and Diet Coke. But he eats and drinks the Diet Coke all times. He has a constitution of a deity. I don't know how he's alive, but he is. And he's at Mar-a-Lago. He says that the only time that he eats junk food is when he's on the road, and he wants to eat food from big corporations because he trusts it. He doesn't want to get sick when he's on the road. But when he's at Mar-a-Lago or at the White House, he's eating really good food. Oh, I think you get this, if you travel with him, you get this idea that he's just pumping himself full of poison all day long, and you don't know how he's walking around, much less being the most energetic person, any of us have ever met.
What? He said Trump's the most energetic person he's ever met. That's interesting. I don't know why he would say that. But yeah, man, he said Trump eats really bad food, y'all. Why did he say that? I thought that was funny anyway. If you're watching the stream, this is the layout from Trading View. We have 8 charts on here. Top left-hand corner is the most valuable company, NVIDIA. To the right, we have Google, Apple, Microsoft. Underneath NVIDIA, we have Amazon. To the right, TSM, AVGO, and Meta. So I'm going to keep that up there while I read this news. Okay. This is from Bitcoin TJ. America is not the dream anymore, I promise you. It's amazing when it comes to salaries, but that's it. Just grind and invest like an MF until you can afford to leave. There's so many better places to be that will raise your standard of life and happiness. 10 out of 10, don't recommend living your whole existence in America. So just come here, get the bag, and bounce, y'all. That's what he said. Just come here, get the bag, and bounce. Okay, this next clip was from Dr. Oz talking about... I'll just play it.
Of children in America are covered by Medicaid or CHIP. And we have programs to teach kids and their parents what to eat, and how to make these dietary guidelines that Secretary Rollins, Secretary Kennedy have crafted with their teams into practice. It will dramatically change the natural history of how children are able to participate in life. But let me give you one last number. If we're able to get the average American, who today retires on average at age 61, get them just to work 1 year longer, because they feel so vital, so strong, so bullish about their future, because they're feeding their...
Now they want people to work 1 year longer, man. We ain't trying to do that. We trying to retire as soon as possible, y'all. Market open, market open, market open. Let's get it, y'all. The market is open. January 20th, 2026, 6:30 a.m. The market is open. Let's see what we got, y'all. NVIDIA down over 2.25% at 181.79. Google down over 2.5% at 322. Apple down almost 0.5% at 254.72. Microsoft is down almost 2% at 451. Amazon is down over 2.25% at 233.20. TSM is down almost 0.5% at 341. AVGO is down almost 2.5% at 343. Meta is down almost 3% at 602.40. Tesla is down almost 3% at 425. Berkshire.B is down 0.5% at 490.67. The VIX has re-entered the gap from Friday Gap up over the weekend. It is now 1966. SPY is down almost 1.5% at 681.97. QQQ is down almost 2% at 610.70. SPX is down over 0.5% at 6,842. And the NASDAQ 100 is down over 0.5% at 25,090, y'all. Man. All right. I thought this was kind of funny. So let me just play it. Oh, this has bad audio. All right. So basically, it says the GPL-1 drug is helping airlines, as they say, fuel costs will come down as the engines will not have to work as hard because people are not as heavy. If society becomes 10% slimmer, the cost of fuel drops by 1.5%. So the fatter people are, then the more it will cost the airlines in fuel costs. All right. This is from 19 Keys on Twitter. Think, build, own, lead. Shout out 19 Keys, man. All right. This next piece of news. Brooklyn daycare scammers plead guilty to $68 million Medicare fraud. 2 women in Brooklyn just admitted to running a $68 million scam billing Medicaid for adult daycare services they never provided. Paid kickbacks to patients, laundered the money through shell companies. This is the same playbook as Minnesota. Fake care centers billing taxpayers for phantom services. It's basically a government ATM if you know how to game it. They're forking over $1 million, facing 10 years max. That's $68 million stolen, $1 million returned, facing 10 years max. Wow. They scammed $68 million. Oh my God, that is insane. And they only had to pay back $1 million. How did they only have to pay back $1 million if they know they scammed $68 million? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Okay. So some of the earnings that are after the market closes, we got Netflix, United Airlines, Interactive Brokers. Yeah, that's going to be big for Netflix. They definitely been falling off ever since the split. Okay, this next clip comes from Peter Thiel. He's talking about diversification.
I don't believe in diversification at all. I would own one stock if I could find one great stock. Diversification is a big mistake. I call it diversification. You buy this thing that might balance this other thing, and they both go down. So I don't believe in diversification at all. I would own one stock. But what I do believe in is if I find 10 good stories, they're all equally attractive, I buy all 10. And I wait to see them unfold. It's like watching 10 poker games. 10 games of stud poker. You watch the cards turn over, story 3 gets better, story 6 slips, story 7 stays the same, but it goes up 50%. You sell 7 and buy 2. That's all I do. So if they're equally attractive, I buy all 10. Then gradually some story says, oh my God, this is getting better and better. And guess what? The stock just went down. So you keep watching 10 stories, and magically, because of that rule, the stock's going up and down a lot, then you load up. You really, take a big advantage. So that either happens because something happens to the company, or the market goes down and all stocks go down.
He said, I ain't diversifying nothing. You gonna invest in the best companies and that's it. Alright. I thought this was interesting. The world's most valuable sports teams. Dallas Cowboys, $13 billion. Golden State Warriors, $11 billion. Los Angeles Rams, $10.5 billion. New York Knicks, $9.75 billion. Los Angeles, it's going to, I don't know why they would organize this list like this, but after the Rams, it's New York Giants, $10.1 billion, followed by the Los Angeles Lakers, $10 billion, and the New York Knicks, $9.75 billion. New England Patriots, $9 billion. San Francisco 49ers, $8.6 billion. I'm not about to read all these. But the Raiders, number 13, $7.7 billion. All right. Oh, this was interesting as well. Top 25 most expensive divorce settlements in history. Bill and Melinda Gates, $76 billion. Jeff and Mackenzie Bezos, $38 billion. Alec Wildstein and Jocelyn, $3.8 billion. Rupert Murdoch and Anna, $1.7 billion. I don't know the rest of these people, so we can skip that. All right. Let's check out the heat map. Oh, that thing is red. That's the heat map, y'all. That is the heat map. It's tough to find green up in there. The whole market is red. Oh my goodness. This is terrible. Look at MU though. MU is up 3.2%. Intel is up 3%. But we see a whole lot of red with everything else, y'all. Goodness, this is terrible. Terrible. Alright, let's check out the sectors, y'all. XLK is down almost 1.5% at 143.58. XLY is down almost 2% at 120.06. XLC is down over 1% at 113.88. XLF is down almost 1.25% at 53.79. XLV is down almost 1% at 154.38. XLP is down fractionally at $82. XLE is up over 0.25% at 47.85. XLU is down over 0.5% at 43.12. XLI is down over 0.75% at 165.57. XLB is down almost 1% at 48.28. And XLRE is down almost 0.75% at 41.91. So the worst sector right now is XLY, down almost 2%. And the best performing sector so far is XLE, up almost 0.5%. Okay, let's check on some of our other stocks we like to check out on our show. AMD is down 1% at 229. Bitcoin is back to 90,000. It's actually 90,930, y'all. IBIT is down almost 5% at 51.56. Ethereum is down almost 4% at 3,064. The BMNR is down almost 7% at $29, y'all. Palantir is down 2.25% at 167. Robinhood is down almost 3% at 105.93. Grab is up almost 1% at 442. XLG is down almost 1.75% at 57.85, y'all. XLG is almost down 5%. It's getting there. I wanted that 10% off, y'all, for sure. All right, let's check on some more news. Let me adjust these charts right quick. So the area with the brown background is pre-market, and the area with the dark blue background is market open. And that music in the background is brought to you by Matt Rich's 510 AI Music. I have many different playlists on YouTube from hip hop. That playlist is going to be called Bars and Breakthroughs. I have motivational melodic music. That playlist is called Motivational Melodic Music. I have gospel music. That is called Melodic Messiah Mode Music. And I have hip hop gospel is called Messiah Mode Music. I have frequency music that you can check out. It's called Healing Frequencies. So whatever kind of music you like, I got a hit record. All right, let's check out 2026 iHeartRadio podcast nominees. Earn Your Leisure. Acquired. The Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett. How I Built This with Guy Raz, and Young and Profiting with Hala Taha. Shout out EYL, man. They should definitely win. Okay, I thought this was interesting. This was a letter to shareholders from Jeff Bezos in 2020 after the dot-com bubble. It says, to our shareholders, ouch, it's been a brutal year for many in the capital markets and certainly for Amazon shareholders. As of this writing, our shareholders are down more than 80% from where I wrote to last year. Nevertheless, by almost any measure, Amazon, the company, is in a stronger position now than any time in the past. We served 20 million customers in the year 2000, up from 14 million in 99. Sales grew to 2.7 billion in 2000, up from 1.6 billion in 99. Operating loss shrank to 6% in 2000 from 26% in 99. Operating loss shrank to 2% in 2000 from 24% in 99. The average customer spend in 2000 is up 19%. Gross profit grew 656 million in 2000 from 291 million in 99. That's 125% upside. And then he just lists all these other data points that's showing that the company is way stronger than it was, but it was down 80% because of the crash in the market. So had we known those numbers and had we been Amazon shareholders, we would have definitely bought more shares and enjoyed the ride to the upside. All right, Elon Musk is seeking up to $134 billion in damages from OpenAI in a newly filed lawsuit. Musk's legal team argues that his early funding and involvement materially contributed to OpenAI's rise, which is now valued at $500 billion. The lawsuit says OpenAI became a for-profit company, entitling Musk to compensation tied to creating from his early contribution. Musk helped found OpenAI in 2015 and donated approximately $38 million in early funding. Here go Trump again. Yeah, it's a lot of Trump news, y'all. I don't know. He always be doing stuff that's newsworthy.
And the results are in, and the Trump economic boom is officially begun. It's really begun almost from the beginning. Almost begun, if you look at it, really from November 5th.
Trump said GDP is smashing expectations. Okay, I thought this was a good graph. So it says, a good chart. As time horizons grow, equity losses fall off. This is from 1929 till now. So the probability of negative returns, if you only invested in S&P 500, a one-day probability is 46%. A 1 month probability is 38%. 1 quarter probability, 32%. 1 year probability, 25%. 3 year probability, 16%. 5 year probability, 10%. And a 10-year probability, 6%. So if you hold for the long term, you're going to make money in the market. It's that simple. The longer your time frame, then the more likely you will be positive. And this is almost 100 years of data, y'all. This next piece of news comes from Walter Bloomberg on Twitter. China's birth rate hits record lows. China's birth rate fell in 2025 to the lowest level since 1949, underscoring deepening demographic pressures despite new government incentives to boost fertility. Birth rates dropped to 5.6 per 1,000 people. Dang. That is crazy. 5.6 births per 1,000 people? Sheesh. Okay, this is from Peter Lynch. He says, when to sell. He gives 6 examples. 3 bullet points each. Number 1, sell a stalwart company. Sell if the PE ratio goes well beyond normal range and buy it again at cheaper prices. If the new products introduced in the last 2 years haven't performed well. If the PE of the stock is way above its peers in the same industry. Number 2, sell a cyclical company. If the inflation starts to pick up, when core commodity used in products starts declining in price, when the companies engage in a price war. Number 3, sell a fast-growing company. When the PE climbs above projected earnings growth, when the stock has high recommendation, it's time to start selling. Look at the gross margins. If they shrink, it signals competition, time to sell. Number 4, sell a turnaround company. When the inventories grow twice as fast as sales, if the consistency decreasing debt suddenly rises, when the turnaround is known by everyone. Number 5, sell an asset play company when it's still undervalued and raises an extra capital. If there is a reduction in corporate tax rate which considerably reduces the value of the company's tax loss carry forward. If institutional ownership has risen beyond 50%. Number 6, sell a slow grower. If you recently acquired an unrelated business, sell if it loses market share in consecutive years, 2 consecutive years. When no new products are developed and R&D is low, when the company stops raising dividends or payout exceeds 60%. All right, this next piece of news. Actually, let me run the numbers one more time. Okay, NVIDIA is down over 3% at 180.50. Google down almost 2% at 324.14. Apple is down over 1.25% at 252. Microsoft is down almost 1.5% at 453. Amazon is down 2.5% at 233. TSM is down almost 1.5% at 337. AVGO is down almost 3% at 341.72. Meta is down almost 2% at 308. Tesla is down almost 2.5% at 426.89. Berkshire.B is down almost 1% at 488. The VIX is at 1964. SPY is down almost 1.5% at 682.67. QQQ is down almost 1.5% at 613.09. SPX is down almost 0.5% at 6,846. And the NASDAQ 100 is down almost 0.25% at 25,179, y'all. All right, this next piece of news comes from 19 Keys on Twitter. He said the 10 books every young man should read. The Way of the Superior Man. Letter to Garcia. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Book of 5 Rings. Mastery by Robert Greene. King Warrior, Magician Lover. The Autobiography of Malcolm X. The Kabbalion. The Richest Man in Babylon. And Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Shout out 19 Keys, y'all. All right, SpaceX revenue breakdown. SpaceX has a total revenue of $15.5 billion, and $10.4 billion comes from Starlink. $4.4 billion comes from rocket launches, and the other nearly $1 billion comes from somewhere else. Another tweet from 19 Keys. A book list for better communication. Tonal influence. Nonviolent communication. How to preach a dangerous sermon. The Intelligent Conversationalist. Dialogues of Plato. Drop the mic. The power of words can change the world. Thinking fast and slow. A lot of books today from 19 Keys, y'all. This is from Walter Bloomberg on Twitter. We got Trump. We got more Trump talk.
Have you invited President Putin to be a member of the Board of Peace? Yeah, he's been invited. Do you have any response to President Macron saying he will not join the Board of Peace? Oh, did he say that? Well, nobody wants it because he's going to be out of office very soon. So, that's all right. What I'll do is if they feel like Costo, I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes, and he'll join. But he doesn't have to join. If he said that, you're probably giving it to me a little bit differently. But if he actually did say that, but as you know, he's going to be out of office in a few months.
Ooh, he said 200% tariffs on the French wine. Boy, you ain't playing. All right, this next piece of news comes from Unusual Whales. 45% of employers post fake listings. This is per Forbes. The next piece of news is from Live Squawk on Twitter. Netflix amends Warner Brothers bid to make it an all-cash deal. All cash. Let's check out Netflix. See how it's doing. Okay, Netflix is at $89, y'all. $89. It is actually underneath day one of 2025 by 50 cents. Okay. This next piece of news comes from Market Watch on Twitter. It says how Greenland could turn into a big tech problem, according to Morgan Stanley's Mike Wilson. He warns that U.S.-EU tensions over Greenland could trigger the EU's anti-coercion instrument, targeting big tech services like digital platforms and imposing investment restrictions or taxes on U.S. megacaps. The dispute stems from Trump's threats to impose 10% tariffs on European goods starting in February 2026, rising to 25% in June, after EU opposition to U.S. plans to acquire or control Greenland, prompting EU leaders to promise unflinching countermeasures, including ACI activation. Wow. So that's going to affect big tech. Man, we need big tech running. Trump, what you doing, man? Okay. So Trump decided to put out his text message with Francis Macron. It says from President Macron to Trump. My friend, we are totally in line on Syria. We can do great things on Iran. I do understand what you are doing on Greenland. Let's try to build great things. I can set up a G7 meeting in Davos. After Davos in Paris on Thursday afternoon, I can invite the Ukrainians, the Danish, the Syrians, the Russians in the margins. Let us have dinner together in Paris on Thursday before you go back to the U.S. Why Trump will put that out, I do not know. All right, these next two things come from Live Squawk on Twitter. Citibank cuts Apple's price target to $315 from $330, y'all. And then Apple added to tactical outperform list at Evercore. So we got opposing news on Apple. More Trump news, y'all. It's just, I don't know, man. Some days it's going to be a lot of Trump news because he be talking a lot. And we need some good comedy relief. Here we go.
I tell the story. It wasn't meant to be funny. People find it funny. But a friend of mine who's a very smart guy, very, very rich, very powerful man, actually. But he's very fat. And he took the fat, I call it the fat drug. I won't give you which one. It was Ozempic. I won't tell you that.
What?
And he went to London on one of his many business trips. It's all he does is business. He can't walk across the street, but he's a great businessman. And he said, President. I said, what? He used to call me Donnie. Now he calls me President. So I said, you've come a long way. He goes, but I have a problem. What's your problem? In New York, I pay $1,300 for this drug. Now, this means nothing to him. This is like a penny out of your wallet. The guy's worth hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. He said, and in London, sir, I pay just a fraction of that. I said, what are you paying? $87. I said, well, is it the same drug? I know exactly what he was getting at because it bothered me for a long time. He said, it's the exact same drug. And because of his wealth and his business smarts, he had it checked. It was made in the same plant by the same company. It's identical. And here I pay $87, and in New York I pay $1,300. So it was too much to bear. Because after I told him that the drug does not work on him, because I saw him recently, he's actually fatter than ever.
Yo, he said Ozempic is not working on him. He is fatter than ever. Wow. Shout out Trump, man. Always got some comedy relief for this show. Also, I think that was crazy, though. The fact that it cost $87 in Europe, but it cost $1,300 in the U.S. That's ridiculous. Okay. Next piece of news comes from Aristotle Investments on Twitter. You got to ignore the noise and double down on what you believe in, no matter what the popular thing to do is. You have to have great vision. Shout out Aristotle. Okay, this next piece of news on Twitter comes from Zay. The Daily Stoic. 66 meditations on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living. I believe I read that before, years back. And Robert Greene's The Daily Laws, 366 meditations. I think that's new, because that was on 19 Keys list of books earlier. So I think I'm going to have to get that book, y'all. I think I will. I'm going to get that book, and then I'm going to read The Daily Law in the pre-show mantra. I think I'm going to do that, y'all. Shout out to that idea I just had. Okay. So, this is interesting. U.S. billionaires invested in Greenland after President Trump first showed interest, according to Forbes. Estee Lauder, Fortune Air, Ronald Lauder invested in Greenland freshwater bottling company and is involved in a push to build a hydroelectric power station at the territory's largest lake. Bezos, Gates, and Bloomberg each invested in cobalt metals in 2019, which looks for valuable rare earth minerals. Sam Altman from OpenAI invested in the same company through his VC fund, Apollo Projects, in 2022. Peter Thiel funded Praxis in 2021, a startup which aims to build a technologically advanced Freedom City on the island. So the first time Trump was president and he showed interest in Greenland, these billionaires went and dropped some bread over there. So they already knew he was going back. Oh, more Trump stuff, y'all. So Trump posted this picture in the White House with the United States, Canada, and Greenland all part of the United States. He put United States flags over Canada and Greenland like they all belong to us. All right. Apple, this is from Apple Hub on Twitter. Apple plans to launch 25 plus new products in 2026, y'all. It is rumored, based on this article here, It's going to be iPhone 18 series, M6 Max, and new iPads to sustain growth post the AI focus. There will be a book-style foldable iPhone in September with a 7.8-inch inner display and an OLED upgraded studio display in the spring, aiming to capture premium market share. Trump said we need Greenland for national security very badly. If we don't have it, it's going to be a big hole in national security, especially when it comes to what we're doing in terms of the Golden Dome and all other things. We have a lot of investments in military. The Golden Dome, y'all, the Golden Dome. The top 10 largest economies in the world, the United States at 30 trillion is number one. Followed by China, 19.4 trillion. Then Germany, 5 trillion. Japan, 4.3 trillion. India, 4.1 trillion. The UK, 4 trillion. France, 3.4 trillion. Italy, 2.5 trillion. Russia, 2.5 trillion. Followed by Canada. Canada, then Mexico, then Argentina. As you can see, the huge lead that the United States has, y'all. So in 2020, the United States was number one, followed by Japan and Germany. In 1980, it was the United States, followed by Japan and Germany. All right. That's about it, y'all. That's enough news. Let me run these prices one more time before we get out of here. I'm going to go through the long list. The 10-year Treasury note has gapped up since Friday. It is now 4.28. SPX is down over 0.5% at 6,834. The NAS 100 is down almost 0.5% at 25,125. The VIX is back over 20, y'all. The VIX is at $20.05. SPY is down over 1.5% at 681. QQQ is down over 1.5% at 611. Apple is down almost 2% at 251. AVGO is down over 3.33% at 340. Amazon is down over 2.5% at 232. Google is down over 2% at 323. Meta is down over 2% at 607. Microsoft is down over 1.5% at 452. NVIDIA is down over 3% at 180.40. Tesla is down over 3% at 423. AMD is up. AMD is up, y'all. AMD is up. AMD is up 1.25% at 234.90, y'all. Wow. AMD, the only one that's green on this list. Bitcoin is down. Bitcoin is back under 90,000, y'all. Bitcoin is at 89,865. iBit is down over 6% at 50.92. Ethereum is about to break. It just broke 3,000, but it did bounce, so now it's at 3,002. It did go down to 2,992, y'all. BM&R is down over 8%, going toward 9. BM&R is down to $28.43. Palantir is down almost 1.5% at 168.50. Hood is down over 3% at 105.38. Grab is up almost 2% at 447. XLG is down almost 2% at 57.79. Let's check out the sectors. XLK is down over 1.5% at 143. XLY is down 2% at 119.84. XLC is down over 1% at 113.84. XLF is down almost 1.5% at 53.68. XLV is down 0.75% at 154.55. XLP is down over 0.75% at 81.49. XLE is up fractionally at 47.77. XLU is down over 0.5% at 43.17. XLI is down over 1.25% at 164.62. XLB is down over 1.25% at 48.06. And XLRE is down almost 2% at 41.48. The only sector that is green is energy. All right. Let's check out the heat map as we end the show. Everything is red, y'all. Everything is red. My goodness. Oh, man. You see, there's barely any green on there. But MU is up over 3%. And what is this? Intel is up 4.6%. Wow, the rest of the market is getting destroyed. Anyway, this has been your pre-market and market open for our show, $1 Trillion Tickers. I am your host, Matt Riches. We'll be back tomorrow for the pre-market and market open and breaking news, y'all. Hope you found this show useful. If you want to check out my YouTube channel, I do have some very useful videos. Let me pull that up right quick. Oh, actually, I had some motivation to play from Instagram. Let me play a couple of these, y'all. Let me play a couple of these.
I don't have bad days, man. I may have a bad moment, maybe even a bad hour, but never a bad day. I don't, because I set my own thermostat. Ain't nobody gonna get me hot with me. And master the 3 W's, you gotta want it, you gotta work it, then you gotta win it.
I know that's right.
Now, how bad do you want it? Because if you want it bad enough, you're gonna work it. Then if you do those two, you're gonna win.
Shout out Prime Time.
I want you to know something, family. The thing that you prayed for is way bigger than you thought you could handle. But what God gonna do is he gonna bless you with it so that you can come right back to him and ask him for guidance. He gonna bless you with it so you can come back to him so he can increase your capacity. He gonna bless you with it so you can come back to him so he can increase your territory. He gonna bless you with it so you can come back to him so he can give you the instruction. So I just want you to understand, when you pray for it, know that that's just one step. The instructions, the guidance, is what's necessary, is the next step of the prayer. So I want you to do something. When you pray for something, I want you to pray for it, and then I want you to see God blessing you with it, and then I want you to see God give you the instructions to get it done. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper, man. It's a Faith Friday message.
Salute, Trap. Appreciate that.
If you're in your 40s and you feel financially behind, listen carefully. You're not too late. You just don't have time to stay passive. On Wall Street Trap, and I help everyday people build wealth through disciplined investing and trade without confusion. Step 1, y'all. We're going to open up a brokerage account. Charles Schwab, Vanguard, E-Trade, it doesn't really matter, honestly, because what really matters is you being invested. Now, here's why this is truly serious. Data shows that women, on average, start investing 5 years later than men. Ladies, that delay alone could cost you about $250,000 on compound growth, and we definitely can't afford that. Now, if you invested $500 a month into something like the S&P 500 and reinvested the dividends, around age 62, 63, you'll have about $650,000 to $700,000. That's sweet. But if you waited to age 45 to start, you'd actually leave out about $200,000 off the table that you don't get. And personally, I need that money, right? Now let's talk reality. Women live about 5 years longer than men on average. So that means your money has to last longer. So fellas, that means you all behind. So you can't play it safe. You got to be a little aggressive. Ladies, consistency matters more than perfection. This isn't about fear. It's actually about planning. So you want to have that core foundation with the S&P 500, but you also going to need growth. So the Vanguard, VUG, which is tech, or you can go ITA, which is defense, because you know America gonna always be trying to fight somebody. That's good for you. So you get innovation, you get expansion, and you get sectors that always get funded no matter who's in office.
I ain't gonna play the whole clip. I forgot how long that clip was. Let's see. Oh, shout out iShow Speed, y'all.
We are about to make history right now. Nobody has never streamed inside of the pyramids. The first streamer to stream inside the pyramids. Let's go. Follow me, chat.
Yes, this is a new entrance. Was done out in 9th century. Arabian Caliph or Arabian King. We have 3 chambers. The first chamber, it was cattle rock beneath the pyramid. We have descending passage. It's about 100 meters, almost 30 feet, 300 feet. Was cattle rock.
We are about to make history right now.
Shout out iShow Speed, man. #1 streamer in the world. You know how we like to end the show? Nipsey Hussle.
It don't happen overnight. And there's going to be moments when it's really, really frustrating. And there's going to be moments when it's really, really inspiring and empowering. And if you get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're going to take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work and appreciating it, when it's good and not stressing too bad when it's bad. Just appreciating the work and staying focused on showing up every day.
Appreciate y'all tuning in. $1 Trillion Tickers. I am your host, Matt Riches. See y'all tomorrow. Shout out everybody on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. Let's get this money, y'all. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.